Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Fight fans worldwide, you've tuned into the number one undisputed boxing podcast today. This is the Boxing Breakdown.
Who would some of those trainers get?
Well, I met the late great Mr. Leslie Knows the guy with the soul. You know, he was a tremendous fighter in the 40s, but he had, like yourself, he called it the tattoo, and back then that's the death sentence to the career. But he had beat Montgomery in 2 rounds in a non-title bout here in Philadelphia when he was the reigning lightweight champion of the world.
Fight fans, join host Mark Roxey and special guests as they break down all aspects of the boxing world, including news, business, management, training, promotions, fan reactions, upcoming events, matchups, future boxing stars, title fights, state of the boxing world, and all the stuff you don't see when you watch boxing. This podcast is released each week on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live streamed on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live. It's the Boxing Breakdown, hosted by Mark Roxey.
Oh yeah, what's up? This is your host, Mark Roxey, and my partner in crime, Mr. Harold Hunt. Welcome to the program. What's up, Harold?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. You like my little introduction, all like jazzed up, pumped up?
It is another one. It looks really good.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So what's going on? How are you, bro?
Oh, man, I'm great, man. There's so much going on in boxing, but I heard you had a wonderful time somewhere.
Yo, I did. Thank you for that little segue, bro. I was at the 5th annual Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame in Atlantic City, New Jersey, man, and it was absolutely on fire.
I'm sure it was. The boardwalk.
Yeah, man, it was
City.
Yo, Harold, it was on fire, bro. I had look, I brought my glass of wine today. Check it out, okay? Because while I was there, I felt like a movie star, bro. Harold, I felt like a movie star. I was like, first of all, everybody was there. And we're going to talk a little bit about who was there. But, over the weekend, it was pretty much August 20th through the 22nd. The 5th annual Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame event was held. It also included induction ceremonies that took place on Sunday, the 22nd, at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in the Sound Waves Theater in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Yo, Harold, it was fire. And so the Boxing Breakdown got, we were invited to be one of the exclusive behind the scenes coverages of the event. And I did that. I also choreographed a performance for to memorialize some of those that we've lost over the last 2 years. So I played that role, and then I ultimately ended up, just grabbing footage of everything that took place the entire weekend. And it really was on fire, Harold. And, we had, well, first of all, the organizer and the president of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame is Mr. Ray McCline, and also the communications director and the liaison for the entire outfit is Angela Crockett, and they did a superb job. The MCs of the event were Henry Haskup, who is, by the way, the president of the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame, and also an announcer and a very, very prominent historian in the boxing community in New Jersey, and Samad Hogg, who is, if you ever hear his voice, he's an announcer and he does lots of, commercials and video stuff, but he was the MC of the event. And it was, some of the other behind the scenes people were, there's so many people to call out, but Jackie Atkins, who's the president of the New Jersey Amateur Boxing Association was also there, and she was very much involved in the event. She was passing out or delivering the honorees their placards and all of the fancy business that went on during the weekend, right? So, Harold, I just loved it.
I'm sure you did. Just like being in a candy store. I mean, there was so many. I'm sure there were so many famous uh, fighters that you followed their career over your lifetime, and here they are in front of you, and you have a carte blanche to interview them. I get that. I guess that was a wonderful feeling.
It was a wonderful feeling, Harold. The only bittersweet aspect of it is that you weren't with me. Because I was hoping that you were gonna make it down. I know, we tried to figure that out and work it out that you could get there, but you had other engagements, other things going on, so it didn't really work out that way. But I was thinking, oh man, I wish Harold was here with me, bro, because you would have been, you would have, you would have just loved it. It's funny because, I mean, I'm in boxing. I'm pretty much embedded in a lot of different aspects of the sport, and so are you. But, there comes a time where everybody who loves this sport gets to be a fan and gets to just their mouth hang open because their idol is standing there in front of them and this business, And so I was fortunate enough to be around some of these people, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But, John Iceman Scully, I wanted to just touch on him. This guy does so much humanitarian work for those that in the boxing world that have kind of fallen on hard times, whether it's because of injuries or illness or just because they're down on their luck, man. And so he got an award, basically because of the amazing work that he does with people like Wilfred Benitez. And he came up and he spoke passionately about that work and about the tragedy of, Wilfred Benitez's particular circumstances. And, it was just really, really beautiful. His sister, Wilfred Benitez's sister, Yvonne, takes care of him. And I believe they live in Chicago in a small apartment. And really he needs to kind of move out of that apartment because of a variety of different reasons. But, John Scully is in action, helping him, trying to raise funds. And I know if you look it up, if those of you that are listening to the Boxing Breakdown, if you look it up and you can find John Scully online, you definitely can donate to his cause. And, none of the money goes to any particular person other than those afflicted with illness in our boxing community. So lend a hand, make a donation if you can, and support the great work of the humanitarian, as he's been called by the president of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, Ray Mercer. He was noted as a humanitarian and received an award for that. Get this, Harold.
Yes.
The WBC president made an appearance via closed circuit. Maurice Suleiman was there. A world-renowned promoter, Mr. Don King, celebrating his 90th birthday. He was there. The IBF, Mr. Daryl Peebles was there, and he spoke via satellite as well. And that was, what a treat, man. What a treat to have them in the building. And the mayor of Atlantic City, Marty Smalls, was speaking, and he came out and really demonstrated his support for Atlantic City and also for professional boxing, and talked about the days when you couldn't even get down the Parkway, or because of Iron Mike's his appearances there in Atlantic City, and the heyday of boxing then and now, and how he really looks forward to bringing boxing back to its prominence once again. And so that was great. It was great. Harold, talk to me, man. Talk to me. Did you see any of the footage online, or were you following it at all?
Well, I do have a list of some people that I heard that were there, and I just want to know if you was able to speak with some of these people. So let me throw out the first person that I want you to tell me if you spoke with. Kelly Pavlik. Did you talk with him?
Oh man, yeah. Well, first of all, let me just say this: the champ, Kelly Pavlik. I got a chance to. I mean, I saw him in a bunch of different spots, but there was a cocktail party reception for all the VIPs, superstar boxing VIPs, and I was able to kind of grab him there. He was he has a beautiful family, and he was with his entire family. And I was really kind of vacillating between whether or not to like jump up in his space and say, "Yo, I need to really get this interview with you." And I chose not to take the interview because I felt like he was just really enjoying his time with his family, right? But later on in the event, I saw him backstage, and he was having some wonderful conversations with some of the other inductees. And I was able to chat with him and talk to him. And, I wanted to ask him a little bit about the Ugas and Pacquiao fight and what he thought of that, whether he thought Pacquiao should retire. But I spoke to some others. I got a chance to speak to Roy Jones, and Roy Jones gave me a wonderful interview, and we were able to really break out the fight and what his feeling was about the fight. And, he kind of, without putting words in Roy Jones Jr.'s mouth, his comments were that he felt that Ugas was going to win the fight, younger, tougher, stronger,
Really?
bigger. Yeah, he was a little concerned about the damage to his bicep that was purported before the fight, but he said, he just felt that it was going to be a very, very tough fight, and in some ways tougher than the Errol Spence fight. And the reasons that Roy Jones cited it being a tougher fight was because he felt that Errol Spence will sit there with you. He will sit there in the pocket. He will trade with you. He will look for the big shots, at the mark. And, Ugas was a little longer and maybe not so much interested in that kind of a fight. And so he just felt that Ugas was going to win the fight. And I didn't ask Roy Jones if he felt that Pacquiao should retire. And I probably should have asked him, although it's really not material, because we all know that Manny Pacquiao probably will retire. And I think it's probably, I will miss him greatly. He's one of my favorite fighters of this generation and the last two. But, Harold, what do you think? What do you think about Manny Pacquiao retiring?
Well, myself, that fight was not anything that he did wrong. It was just a style cancelment. Ugas canceled the style. That jab just kept coming, and that jab didn't allow Pacquiao to set up. His hand speed was there. He was in shape. It's just at this particular matchup, just wasn't conducive for him, and he couldn't make any adjustments. So when he couldn't make any adjustments, his feet stopped moving, and he started getting hit. So in my mind, he was in shape. He was ready to go. He had his mindset on Spence's come forward, jab, 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 and he was going to step around, and counter. Ugas was a counter puncher, so Ugas was going to keep that jab out there, and he kept Pacquiao off rhythm. And that was that. So I don't think he's old. I don't think he needs to retire. I don't think any of that. I think It's just a simple situation where that particular style canceled him out, and he didn't have time to adjust properly so he could formulate a game plan to win that fight.
Right. Yeah, no, I get it. And, I think you're right about that. And that's kind of what Roy Jones was saying. He felt the same way about the fight. And, look, I don't want to get too deep into the Pacquiao-Ugas fight because that's like a whole, we already did. If you haven't heard our breakdown for the Pacquiao-Ugas fight, go check that out. And you'll see how pro Manny Pacquiao I was. And, now I'm eating my words. But, listen, I love Pacquiao. I'll always love Pacquiao. He's my man. Harold, also at the event was the New Jersey Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr. was in attendance, so I'm sure. Yes. Yeah, that was pretty cool that he was there.
Yes, he's an icon for sure. He's seen it all, done it all. Now he's a commissioner, so his knowledge is vast in this business.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is vast, you know. It was absolutely an incredible day. I mean, we had gosh, who else was there, man? Let me see. So you had Michael
Simon
Spinks.
Brown.
Michael Spinks was there.
Was Trinidad? Tito Trinidad. He was there, right?
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look at a little let's see if I can pull
Little
up
footage.
an image of Tito Trinidad. There he is. There's the man. He was there. So yeah, Tito was there, and give me a second. I'm gonna bring you back into the frame, Harold. Yeah, man, he was there. Tito Trinidad was there, and
Trinidad.
not only was he there, Harold, like he let's see if I can find some footage. All right, let's see if I got this footage. Can you see it? Oh, hold on.
Oh, beautiful.
Can you hear it?
No, I can't hear it, but I hear he spoke well in English. Or did he have a translator?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can grab the footage. Hold on.
Yes, he had a translator.
Yeah, let me see if I can get this. Um, let's see if I can get this. Hold on, Harold. So talk to me, all right? Talk to the
He
listeners.
looked great. He looked great. It looked like it was a nice setting, a nice large stage. I'm sure it was well done. Alain Seen does not play. And you know Mr. Hazard made sure it was on point. So you had quite a list out there. My list is kind of extensive, and it's like who's who. I mean, what Riddick Bowe was there, and of course we know Roy was there, and Larry Hazard and Don King,
Yeah,
Michael Spinks.
yeah, man.
Wow. And one of my favorite nicknames of all time, Tony Postman Thompson. I remember him quite well.
Oh, you do? Tell me what you know about him.
Oh, I used to see him on television when he was coming up. And he just was a solid all around fighter. I enjoyed watching him. Uh, I can't really say that he uh, had any particular style. He just was always solid, and he always fought really well. And he always was in shape. And he had this nice attitude, and he was just professional all the time. You know, and I like Tony. I did. I would have liked to talk with him, but I will because on next year I will be in attendance. It's annual, correct?
All right, check it out. Can you hear it?
Yes.
So he comes out.
that we saw on the film earlier. Hubo un boxeador que me enfrenté a él, Jesús P. Whitaker. There was a boxer, Sweet Pea Whitaker. Y de verdad que, como dice uno, me quito el sombrero delante de él porque es un gran ser humano y un gran campeón. I take my hat off to him. It was an honor to know him, and he was a great champion.
So that's him talking about Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Yes.
Siempre, siempre. God bless him always.
What a gentleman, man.
Quiero agradecer a todos los que están aquí por esta noche muy hermosa, de mucho orgullo para todos nosotros, los boxeadores. Gracias por ese apoyo que siempre nos han dado. He wants to thank his fans for coming out tonight to honor him today in Lion City.
They love him, man.
As they should.
Nosotros los boxeadores es grande. Y de verdad que en mi caso
Always gracious and
valió la pena haber hecho el sacrificio para llegar a ser
defeat
campeón
as
del
well
mundo.
as victory.
Boxers make a lot of sacrifices, and all the sacrifices he have made have paid off since he became a champion of the world.
Le doy gracias a mi promotor Tom King, que fue quien hizo toda mi carrera, junto con mi padre, que está aquí conmigo, mi manejador, mi entrenador.
He wants to thank John Kay for helping with his career, his father, and his trainer.
Estuve siempre a mi lado un grupo de trabajo bien grande,
They've always been by his side.
en el cual estuve siempre orgulloso del trabajo que hacían conmigo.
He's always been proud of the work that they've done with him.
Siempre que salíamos de Puerto Rico, salíamos con la mejor condición posible para enfrentar a quien iba a enfrentar y salir ganador de ese combate.
Every time he left Puerto Rico, he was in the best shape of his he was always in the best shape of his life, and he always came out winning.
Quiero también agradecer a mi familia, especialmente también a mi esposa que siempre me ha ayudado siempre en toda mi carrera.
I want to thank my wife. She's always been there for my career and has helped me through my career.
Just amazing.
Yes, yes, it
A
is.
mis hijas también, son pequeñas, pero mis hijas
He
también
looks the same, doesn't he?
siempre me han dado ese,
Yeah, he's in great shape.
ese soporte para seguir adelante.
You're listening.
I want to thank my daughters for their support and always supporting me to always, move ahead.
Darle gracias a mi madre, mi mamá que está aquí conmigo, Irma, que está aquí conmigo.
I want to thank my mom, Irma, that she's here with me.
A mis hermanas, y una de ellas no está aquí conmigo, pero tengo mi hermana Luz, María y mi hermana Natalie que están conmigo.
I want to thank my sisters. I had one here tonight and two that I couldn't be here, but I want to thank them all.
A mi hermano Juan Carlos, a mi hermano Jonathan, que están conmigo, que están aquí conmigo. Jonathan,
I want to thank Jonathan and my other brothers for being here tonight.
gracias por todo el apoyo que me han dado siempre. Nelly, gracias siempre por todo lo que has hecho por mí también. Y de verdad siempre estoy agradecido de todo lo que has hecho.
This is fantastic right here.
Te amo mucho, tú lo sabes. De todo corazón, te amo con todo mi corazón. Y a mi esposa, la mencioné ya.
Nelly, Mom, he wants to thank you for always supporting him. He loves you from the bottom of his heart, and he appreciates everything that you've done for him.
Como dije a mi esposa, que la mencioné ya, pero quiero decirte que gracias siempre por todo el apoyo que me has dado durante todos los años que tenemos de casado y en la vida que hemos llevado. Gracias. Te amo mucho.
I want to thank my wife for supporting me out throughout the years. We've been together for so long, and I want to just thank her.
Pero no puede faltar.
Here he goes.
Wow. Mi padre, que ha sido un ser humano. Una persona que ha dado lo máximo conmigo, dando toda mi carrera.
I want to thank my father. He's always been there for all of my career.
Como padre, conmigo, con mis hermanos, con toda la familia. Ha sido un caballero totalmente. Gracias, papá.
He's been a true gentleman all his life to all of his kids. Thank you for that.
Y siempre viviré agradecido de todo lo que has hecho por mí. De verdad que sí.
I will always appreciate everything that you've done for me.
Aquí estoy siempre para ti también, en las buenas y en las malas, como tú has estado conmigo. Toda mi vida, así lo estaré.
me through the good and the bad all of my life throughout my career.
Y hoy nuevamente, de mi corazón te lo digo, hoy nuevamente te dedico este premio a ti.
Tonight, Dad, I want to dedicate this to you.
Wow.
Tú eres un campeón y lo has demostrado siempre. Conmigo, con toda la familia, y de verdad por eso que siempre hablo tan bien de ti, porque tienes un amor increíble para nosotros, a todos.
You're the true champion to myself, to the family, to the kids. You're the true champion in the family.
Gracias a toda mi familia, gracias a todo mi público, gracias a todos mis amigos, amistades que están conmigo. Ustedes saben quiénes son. Los quiero. Puerto Rico. Sinceramente, a alguien que me perdone. También la emoción ha sido fuerte.
He's very emotional. He's just apologizing for being emotional.
Me entendí un poco, pero gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias por el premio. Hall of Fame. Por continuación, el Salón de la Fama.
Wow.
What'd you think of that?
Inspiring. I'm awestruck. It's just a special time, a special moment.
How
I hope
about
the
that?
listeners enjoy that.
What are your thoughts, Harold? Come on. Let me get your thoughts on his. He took that time to really just throw that to his family and really his public, and it was just such a beautiful moment in the whole night. Like, I was right there at the podium. That was my footage that I shot, but I was just so moved by his way of being in that moment, where he's being honored, but yet he throws it right back to everybody else. What a true champion.
Yes, he is still the darling of Puerto Rico. He is the favorite son in boxing in that country. Although there's been so many other ones who are just as endeared. However, Tito just happened to have a certain area in which he occupies solely in their psyche, and to see him healthy and looking as he did, those 10, 15, 20 years ago, and being of sound voice and mind, and giving the accolades to his family is just really inspiring. So I'm just glad to see him looking that way. I'm glad to see him. His faculties are all in order, and he's giving the praise where it needs to be to people who supported him and allowed him to accomplish his dreams. And therefore, he accomplished and helped so many people in his country have a beacon to look forward to look at as success. So that's
right.
Just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, well said, Harold. Well said, young man. I mean, listen, Harold, the inductees. Let's talk about the inductees, the people that were inducted. For the people that are listening, they're going to want to know, right? So, Roy Jones Jr., Riddick, Big Daddy Bo.
Big Daddy.
Yeah. Purnell, Sweet Pea Whitaker. Al, Iceman Cole.
Yes.
Ernest Ernie Bing. Tony,
yes.
The Fighting Postman Thornton.
The Postman.
Right. Calvin, Silky Groves. Perry Richardson was an inductee. Tommy Parks. Earl Morton Jr. Steve Weisfeld.
My current buddy.
Yeah, he was, that he had a wonderful little, it was relatively short, but it was a wonderful speech. Ron Katz.
Yes.
Murad Muhammad, who, by the way, is responsible for bringing Manny Pacquiao to the U.S. and also negotiating many, many big deals for Mr. Roy Jones. Consummate gentleman, amazing human being, and spoke very eloquently about his career thus far. Mark Abrams, the great columnist, publicist, podcaster, everything marketing and promotions for boxing. He does a great service to the boxing community. He was honored. Mark Abrams, I got a chance to speak to him. Excuse me, Harold. And I asked him, I said, so what does it feel like to be inducted? He goes, man, I can't even believe that I'm in the class of these other people. Like, it's just so beautiful. And, I'm just so humbled and thankful for this opportunity to be inducted. Al Bernstein was inducted.
Yes.
Yeah, Al Bernstein. Mrs. Lamoa Bird was inducted. Felix Tito Trinidad, as you just saw, his induction speech. It went on and on for a very long time. It was a 4-hour event. Kelly, the Ghost Pavlik, and I'm gonna put up on our YouTube channel. If you are not watching us on YouTube, please make sure you go to the Boxing Breakdown and subscribe to our podcast. Hit the notifications. I'm going to add the Kelly the Ghost Pavlik interview and also his acceptance speech. Simon Mantequilla Brown was also inducted.
Brown.
Yeah, man, he was inducted and super, super nice guy. And here's a guy, mighty Ivan Robinson. Oh my gosh, everybody loves Ivan Robinson, man. The crowd,
he was in some great fights. Yes, he was.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd was almost standing on their feet for him, Aaron Snowden was inducted. Joey I, the late Frank Cappuccino, Ed Keenan, and Nito Del Bunio was also, he's an announcer, and Ed Keenan is a, big marketing, public relations person on the backside of the sport. Does a great service. And get this, Roy Jones comes out, right? And they announce Roy for his induction. He comes out, and don't you know, he has a microphone in hand, and he sings his like this cover track that he wrote and called "Y'all Must Have Forgot."
Yes.
You know the song?
Yes, it's a rap song. It came out a long while back, and it's been a staple of the boxing community ever since.
Yeah, so that was the first of several rap songs that Roy Jones did. He came out and he delighted the crowd. Man, the crowd was up, cheering, throwing their hands up in the air, and it was great. He's a great performer. I thought he was going to go into like a trio of songs. I thought he was going to, come out with "Can't Be Stopped." I would have loved to see a little concert by Mr. Roy Jones Jr., man. He's a great guy. Roy does everything for boxing. He'll help anybody, bro. He's such a great man,
I've got a Roy Jones story. I was doing a fight in Macon, Georgia, at a shrine place. It was small. There was hardly anyone there, but Roy Jones was there in this small place, and those fighters who may not even travel out of Georgia from time to time, Roy Jones was at their boxing match. These guys fought their hearts out because of his presence, and he was a corner in one of the fighters' corner.
Okay,
and that was just so inspiring to see him in that environment. So I was at a convention and I saw him and I said, "Do you remember being at that small shrine place in Georgia and inspiring those fighters?" And he remembered. So he really is really a person who understands the grassroots. And for him to be of his caliber in this small venue,
yes,
is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, Roy does things that most champions you would never see them doing. I mean, he is, and he spoke about that. He spoke about his desire to contribute to the next generation and how important it is to take care of his generation. It was just, he's just, you get the impression by listening to his speech, which, by the way, I do have his speech. It's rather humorous.
I'm sure it is. He has a great sense of humor.
Oh yeah. Let's see if this is. Yeah, here he goes. Here we go. Let's check this out. Here he is. Check him out. Boy, yo, he was killing it. I'm watching you, Harold. You smiling from ear to ear. This is so much fun, bro. Yo.
Excellent, man.
What do you think
Well
of that?
done, Mark. You was right on point with your camera work too.
Was it
Good
good?
job.
Did you like it?
Yes. Well
Yeah.
done.
Yo, I mean, he was just on fire. And then, of course, his induction speech was beautiful. He talked a lot about his contribution to boxing and his desire to continue to contribute. He also talked about Mike Tyson. I'm gonna see if I can grab it, man. If I can grab
Did he?
that, yeah. It was hilarious, bro. He let me see. Yeah. I don't know if I can pull that up right now, but I mean, I'll paraphrase. Basically, what he said is like, Mike Tyson, called him up for the fight. He's like, why is he calling me? Why, of all the people he wants to fight, why is he calling me? Like, why me? Right? So he's like, look, I'll fight you, but I'm bringing some hot sauce because you might bite my ear off. And if you bite my ear off, my mama told me that if you bite my ear off, I'm going to bite your ear off too, and I'm going to pour hot sauce in it. Right? So he goes on with this whole, he is so funny. Like, he's really, really funny. So he goes on and talks about that. And he says, man, they're still calling me. They want to do a rematch. I'm like, why me? Why is everybody picking on me? Like, what is it about me
Because
that you got to fight?
he he can still put butts in the seats.
Yeah, you already know, and he knows it too. But he obviously he's very humble and shrugs that to the side. Of course, right in the character of Roy Jones. But it was just an amazing event. And I have to tell you, bro, I wish you were with us. I wish you were there. And I know that next time we do this, you'll come.
Yes,
And,
absolutely.
I believe the date for the next Atlantic City, oh man, when is it? I think the next one is going to be on June 14th, 2022. So put it on your calendar, listeners out there, Boxing Breakdown. And I hope that you will come. I will show you, I'll try to see if I can play this here, Harold, for a quick second, okay? And check this out. So I'll cut the volume off and I'll just kind of walk you through what's happening here. All right? So there's the red carpet. There's my, my little, I was on the red carpet getting to interview people as they came down the red carpet. And, there's my lovely wife there who was one of my camera operators for the event. Love you, Melissa Roxey. Thank you very much for your help. And you can see they had all kinds of memorabilia at the event. And you could buy everything from gloves to hats to signed autograph posters. It just went on and on. They had replica belts. They had, you name it, they had it there for sale. And so what you're seeing there is just the foyer area, the red carpet area where people were coming in to the event. And then upstairs, they had this wonderful, wonderful VIP cocktail reception area where everybody was kind of chilling at. All the superstars, Riddick Bowe, Iran the Blade, Barkley, you name it. There's Mark Abrams right there ahead of his award. But yeah, there were so many different guys. There's Roy Jones. There's he and I chatting about Ugas. It was, again, just, he gave me the interview, no problem. Such a good man. Here's a little bit of footage from behind the scenes. There's Tito Trinidad talking to Riddick Bowe, talking about a said fighter that they both knocked out, which I'm not going to really play too deeply because I don't want to start any wars. Okay, this is a famous recording star from Puerto Rico who sang the Puerto Rican national anthem.
But that was beautiful.
Oh, it was fabulous, man. There's some of the footage from Earl Morton's Induction. It just, I think you guys get the idea. There's Sweet Pea Whitaker's Induction. There's the Honorable Larry Hazard, Commissioner of New Jersey State Athletic Commission. There's the Honorable Mayor of Atlantic City. And I mean, it just went on and on. There's Mark Abrams receiving his induction.
That's a familiar face for sure.
Oh, Russell Peltz was in the house. He and his beautiful wife, they were there. Yeah, man. So he goes on and talks all about that. Ron Katz, there's your boy.
Steve Weisfeld, who I'm supposed to call tomorrow.
There you go, Steve Weisfeld. There's Dino.
I remember him. He was very popular.
There you go. Larry Hazard, right? And so there's Murad Muhammad, who's responsible for bringing Manny Pacquiao out to the U.S. and along with managing much of Roy Jones Jr.'s career. And, we go on. Just outstanding. There's Joey I, the famous cut man, Joey I, also from the movie Creed. There's Ivan Robinson. And it just goes on, right? So you get the picture.
Legend House. Many of them who deserve all the accolades they've gotten.
Oh yeah, man, for
Wonderful
sure.
work, Mark.
Did you enjoy that? You enjoy that, Harold?
I did. I could feel the atmosphere, the reverence that people were offering those icons of boxing. What a nice time you must have had.
It was
with
just absolutely outstanding. Wish you could have been there with me. Yeah.
You're gonna kill me with that. I'll be there next year.
Yes, you will.
God
you
willing.
Sure will. And for those of you that are listening on the program today, I'll have a lot more of the exclusive behind-the-scenes coverage of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame interviews and all the inside chat that took place over the course of the entire weekend. It's too much footage to upload in one time, but, hats off to the entire team at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame and, just Mr. Ray McCline, the president and CEO of the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. Outstanding job, as well as Angela Crockett, Jackie Atkins, Ahmad Hogg, the entire crew, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and certainly a big congratulations to all the inductees for the 2020/2021 induction ceremonies. It was absolutely fabulous, Harold, and I can't say that enough.
Good.
So, listen, without further ado, I'd like to thank you all for being with us. Harold, as usual, thank you for coming on so I could share the amazing weekend with you and with the people out there in the boxing breakdown land. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, peace and love.
Peace.
Check you out, Harold.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Fight fans worldwide, you've tuned in. Fight fans, join host Mark Roxey and special guests as they break down all aspects of the boxing world, including news, business, management, training, promotions, fan reactions, upcoming events, matchups, future boxing stars, title fights, state of the boxing world, and all the stuff you don't see when you watch boxing. This podcast is released each week on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live streamed on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live. It's the Boxing Breakdown, hosted by Mark Roxey.